So, Ted, got a question for you. Keith Davis is still 86 from City Hall, and he does have mental illness. Are you going to allow Keith Davis back to City Hall?
You know, I don't know any of the circumstances, so I can't sit here and commit to you. I met with him yesterday briefly across the street from City Hall. He and I see each other. Well, here he is right here.
Yeah.
Did you ever look into the situation? I'm about ready to go file a federal appeal to that. And a judge did allow Dumpty to perjure himself, and you can.
Tata wants to say this part. Go ahead.
Right on. Well,
She's just saying it's really interesting coming from Georgia. You know, they come from Georgia.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's from Georgia right now.
Well, really?
Don't send me a tweet. That's like the bottomless pit.
Right on. But if you will
The
look
thing we did the
into
other day across the street, I actually enjoyed that, and I got a lot out of it. It was a good community
She
moment.
got
I
a
want to
green
do
card.
more of
She's
that.
here for a while. And her sister and stuff. Yeah, we'll be in contact.
I really do think it's encourage people to fight for another thing that would go a long way with relations between me and you and my kids. I would give $5 for laundry, but I had to pay extra to wash my CS contaminated clothes. So you do owe me $5, and I'd like it. If you'd like to give me my $5, you won't have to hear about that because we're talking about 10 minutes more.
Thank you. I will consider your request.
All right.
Thank you. I gave somebody a check for $300 the other day to feed the homeless. So
Really?
Yes, I
Right,
did.
well, thank you for that. Yeah, you still owe me $5 for my laundry.
In September in Spokane, the National Association for Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement will be meeting in Spokane. On the agenda will be me. I've been attending all of the meetings for the past 2 years of this group. If the city decides that the COAB is a failure, then I'll have to report that the citizens didn't fail by themselves. The city failed and the USDOJ failed. And then I will just cite chapter and verse of how all those failures took place. But if you'd like to talk about it before that, give me a call.
You should really talk to this lady. She's one of the most valuable members of the community, in my opinion, and she's also very, very fair-handed and all kinds of stuff. And she's one of the few members of the community that actually has common sense. And I think that that's lacking in a lot of from all sides, basically, And I would also like to repeat what Mike Bluehair said about the heavy-handed response. It's just going to get a heavy-handed response by the people and the protesters, and it is going to result in police being injured, civilians being injured, and other stuff. So it's just not. Where did you come from?
It's not an overall I promise you, when I get home tonight, I will absolutely.
Let's go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
How do we say let's go in Georgia?
Thank you so much.
What was that, stop?
Dominique.
Nice to see you.
Hi, I saw you here. Oh, actually, Tatiana. Tato.
So we got the Portland Police over here. Hey.
Your phone,
Huh?
your phone, you're going to talk to you Saturday. You just have a phone. You didn't have that big.
Oh, I had that in my pocket.
Here to there. I just know we need to get this. The mayor and the city council are held accountable by the public for police conduct. And at the end of the day, I think it is essential that the mayor and the city council have that authority. And I don't see that as being an anti-police statement. I just see it being a necessity. We're the elected officials. We're the ones held accountable by the public. I'm responsible for everything that happens in all of my other bureaus. And yet, this is one bureau where, for whatever reason, past city councils chose to bargain that authority away. I'm not holding it to I'm not blaming the police. They outbargained the city council.
She's tired.
And if I had been them, I would have bargained for the same thing. I just would have expected to win.
So you're hoping to change that during your term?
I can't say one way or the other. But I'm working with the Portland Police Association, the chief and others, and we're working through the reforms I can get through the budget process. There are some that I can get through a vote of the city council. There are others that will have to be bargained collectively through the bargaining process. And as they say, comes the brakes.
What
Those are the
was
tools I
your
have at my
reaction to
disposal.
this? I mean, you haven't been a part of a lot of things, but you've been following along. What was your reaction to hearing?
I think there's a lot of disappointment around the table. I think there's people who feel they put their heart and soul into this effort over the last 2 years. They made recommendations that they felt fell on deaf ears. And so what I've committed to tonight is I'll take a hard look at those recommendations. I'm continuing to work with the DOJ and the EPA and the AMAC and this group to figure out what's the right process going forward. I've committed to community engagement. I've not made any decisions about what that community engagement should look like. And there's a process that has to unfold before we get from here to there.
Okay. And what about the appeal? I know in the prior administration they voted to appeal the judges.
I'm literally days into my administration. We finally shoveled the city out. We've had some issues with protests. I am now focusing on moving my agenda forward, and this is obviously part of the agenda. But as far as the city's legal positions, I really don't have anything to say on it at this point.
Okay.
I hope the number of I don't have a large executive team, and we had 4 of them here tonight. So I hope that shows some level of commitment to the people who were in this room. I was appreciative that they gave me an hour of their last meeting, which I thought was very generous. In fact, they gave me more than that. I think they gave me an hour and a half of their last meeting.
Actually, the last time.
Well, people forget that all of this started around mental health issues, and it really goes back to James Chassie. And that hits home with me. I was very involved in the aftermath of the James Chassie situation. I was the one that was sent a check from the county, and it was a very sad time for this community. There were so many miscommunications and mistakes that were made. And I don't want to revisit that except to say the reason why this committee was put together and the reason that this process exists are rooted in legitimate problems we have had in this community in recognizing and working with people who live with mental illness. And so we, as you could hear, we're disagreeing about tactics of protests and things like that. But I hope all of us agree that as a community we can do a lot better when it comes to working with people who live in the community. And there's a lot of ways we can work together. Yeah, you're welcome.
Mayor,
I'm really sorry. I do have to go. I'm
I
really sorry.
understand. What do you have to say about the city council being shut down twice?
It's not a good use of anybody's time, and that's why instead of having the city council disrupted, I agreed to meet people outside of the city council so they could express.
Do you look forward to more disruptions?
No, I do not.
You do not?
Can you hold on a second? I can't come in.
You guys,
we gotta have a conversation. I can't ride down.
I gotta go. You can ride down. I gotta go.
Come on.
I gotta go.
Yeah, it's like, it's not taking up any more time. But, yeah, basically, there's been a huge escalation of protest tactics.
I have noticed, yeah.
And also on the Burnside Bridge, when the police deployed all that gas, it actually drifted right to Dream 2 and affected a lot of the homeless population too. So, the collateral damage of waging low intensity warfare on the population is a real reality, you know.
All right, good night, everybody.
So,
And you should look at Doug Brown from the Portland Mercury's video. I don't know if you've seen it, of the old lady that was pushed down and by the riot squad and lost her glasses. But I'll talk to you later, though, Ted. I'm not going to go too hard on you at this point because yeah,
Talk to you all night. You know,
and you know we'll talk, and I know you're in a rush, but have a good night.
all right, thank you. You guys have a good night too.
Try to